Hi, it's Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. This is Michelle Reads YA. This is the start of another reading vlog. So today is July 11th. I just put up my romance project vlog and my good friend Tatiana was like, why don't you do one with fantasy? And I was like, what a good idea, because if you've been here a while, I don't really like fantasy. However, I own fantasy. Like I bought it myself, or it was gifted to me and I just have it. So once again, the purpose of this video is to get these books off my shelves and actually read them and see if I like any of them. With the romance project, I read 10 books and I liked maybe 4 of them and DNF'd one of them. I have decided that, I have not decided. I don't know if I'm going to freely DNF any of these books yet. It really will depend on how it's going. So let's get started. I'm going to show you the book, give you a description of the book, and go from there. Most of these books are adult, which is something else I don't really read. My whole channel name is Michelle Reads YA, so that's something else. So let's just get into it. This is a mix of fantasy and sci-fi and some dystopian, so I just wanted to like lump them all together and get it out of the way, but this is the fantasy project. So the first book is Seafire by Natalie C. Parker. I remember very vividly getting this because it was a signed copy, and okay. The first in a heart-stopping trilogy that recalls the undeniable feminine power of Wonder Woman and the power keg action of Mad Max Fury Road. Seafire follows the captain of an all-female ship intent on taking down a vicious warlord's power fleet. Okay. Next is something that I once tried to read several years ago and put down, and then this was gifted to me, and that is The Night Circus by Erin. Oh my god. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I'm terrified of this. So yeah. The circus arrives without warning. No announcements precede it. It is simply there when yesterday it was not. Within the black and white striped canvas tents is an utterly unique experience full of breathtaking amazements. It's called Le Circus des Rêves, and it is only open at night. Next is probably the only dystopian I would say, and that's World War Z. I got this at a secondhand shop because it was cheap. I have seen the movie. We survived the zombie apocalypse, but how many of us are still haunted by the terrible time? We have temporarily defeated the living dead, but at what cost? Maybe I like this. I do like dystopian. Next, I believe, is fantasy, and I got it because it sounded cool, and that is Not Even Bones by Rebecca Schaefer. Nita doesn't murder supernatural beings and sell their body parts on the internet. Her mother does that. Nita just dissects the bodies after they've been acquired until her mom brings home a live specimen and Nita decides she wants out. Dissecting a scared teenage boy is a step too far. Is this horror? I don't know. Okay. Next is probably the one I am most terrified of, and that's The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, the same author of The Night Circus. I have read so many reviews about this and people are like, I don't know, I honestly don't think I'm smart enough for this book. So yeah. Far beneath the surface of the sea, upon the shores of Starless Sea, there is a labyrinth collection of tunnels or rooms filled with stories. The entryways that lead to the sanctuary are often hidden, sometimes on forest floors, sometimes in private homes, sometimes in plain sight. But those who seek will find their doors have been waiting for them. I just don't think I'm going to be smart enough for this. Next was just gifted to me, and that is Middle Game by Seanan Mcguire. This is more on the sci-fi side, but I figured let's lump it all together. Meet Roger. Skilled with words, languages come easily to him. He instinctively understands how the world works through the power of story. Meet Dodger, his twin. Numbers are her world, her obsession, her everything. All she understands, she does so through the power of math. Roger and Dodger aren't exactly human, though. They don't realize it. They aren't exactly gods either. Not entirely, not yet. Next, I'm also afraid of, but heard very good things about, and that is The Poppy War by Rf Huang. When war orphan Rin aced the Kiju, the empire-wide test to find the most talented youth to learn at the academies, she surprised everyone. Test officials, the guardians who wanted to marry her off and further their criminal enterprise, and even herself. I know this is a trilogy and people really, really like this, so I'm hopeful. I don't know. Next is Jade City by Fonda Lee. For centuries, honorable green bone warriors have used magical jade to enhance their abilities and defend the island of Kikon from foreign invasion. Now the war is over and a new generation vies for control of Kikon's bustling capital city. 4 siblings of the powerful Call family must prepare for battle, and the fragile peace between the clans is about to break. Yikes. Once again, with the romance project, this is my fault. Like, I went out and bought these for the most part. A few were gifted to me, but for the most part, I sought these out. So next is the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. I read The City We Became by her and thought it was interesting. Definitely not my jam, so let's see. I have heard nothing but good things about this though, but from people who like fantasy, so yeah. This is the way the world ends for the last time. It starts with the great red rift across the heart of the world soul continent, spewing ash that blots out the sun. It starts with death, with a murdered son and a missing daughter. It starts with betrayal and long dormant wounds rising up to fester. This is the stillness, a land familiar with catastrophe, where the power of the earth is yielded as a weapon and where there's no mercy. Next, we are reading this for book club. This is one of my few YA ones, and that is Tess of the Road by Rachel Hartman. We're reading this for December, so I might as well get it over with. In the medieval kingdom of Gored, women are expected to be ladies, men are their protectors, and dragons can be whomever they choose. Tess is none of those things. Tess is different. She speaks out of turn, has wild ideas, and can't seem to keep away from trouble. Then Tess goes too far. What she's done is so disgraceful that she can't even allow herself to think of it. Unfortunately, the past cannot be ignored, so Tess's family decides that the only past for her is a nunnery. Oh, okay. Tatiana suggested this book for book club, and it's what we voted on, and she loved it. And if she loves something, then it has to be good. But does that mean I'm going to think it's good? I don't know. The next one I remember getting and reading the description and was like, what? And that is The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackwith. Many years ago, Claire was named head librarian of the Unwritten Wing, a neutral space in hell where all the stories unfinished by their authors reside. Her job consists mainly of preparing and organizing books, but also of keeping an eye on restless stories that risk materializing as characters and escaping the library. When a hero escapes from his book and goes in search of his author, Claire must track and capture him with the help of former muse and current assistant Brevity and the nervous and sweet demon Leto. Oh. I believe this next one is a middle grade, so that's fun. And that is The City of Ember by Gian de Prue. I don't know what this is about. Okay. Since 2003, readers of all ages have been captivated by Gian de Prue's story about a doomed city and 2 children determined to escape it. Now, new and old fans alike will enjoy the deluxe edition. This is not what I want. Anyway, it's a series. It was recommended to me by an old coworker at the library. So let's see. He only read fantasy though, so yeah. Next, I am also terrified of, and that is The City of Breast by S.A. Chakraborty. Yeah. On the streets of 18th century Cairo, Nahiri is a con woman of unsurpassed skill. She makes her living swindling Ottoman nobles, hoping to one day earn enough to change her fortunes. But when Nahari accidentally summons Dara, an equally sly, darkly mysterious Dijin warrior, during one of her cons, she learns that even the cleverest of schemes can have deadly consequences. Eek. Okay. We're almost done. This next one is another YA, and that is The Brilliant Death by Amy Rose Capetta. I got this the same time I got Seafire, I believe. Theodora de Sangoro is used to hiding her magical ability to transform enemies into music boxes and mirrors. Nobody knows she's a Strega, and she aims to keep it that way. Then she meets Celio, and everything changes. Oh no, there's a map in the front of that, and I once tweeted, if there's a map in the front of a book, it's not the book for me. Okay, this last book is A Song of Wraith and Ruins by Roseanne A. Brown. For Malik, the Solstasia Festival is a chance to escape his war-stricken home and start a new life with his sisters in the prosperous desert city of Seanan. But when a vengeful spirit abducts Malik's younger sister Nadia, as payment to enter the city, Malik strikes a fateful deal. Kill Karina, Crown Princess of Zeran, in exchange for Nadia's freedom. One last book is The Jewel by Amy Ewing, I think. And that was requested that I read that by Elise from Elise Reads and Speaks, and I will put her channel down below. I already have the audiobook for that. She just really wants someone else to read it, so I'm going to read it even though I don't own it. So I actually think that might be the first one I read because I just got the audiobook of that. Now, for my contemporaries, I usually listen to audiobooks at 2.75 times speed, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do that with fantasy because, once again, I don't think I'm smart enough for any of these fantasies. So I am hoping to maybe read it at 1.5 times speed or 2 times speed, but I don't think I can fly through these books like I normally do. Most of these have audiobooks, which is great, but for the few that don't, I'm going to physically read them, hopefully. And I have 3 library books out now that are taking priority, and then I'm going to jump into the ones that don't have an audiobook. I am taking a very long time to read physically because I don't have a lot of time to sit down and read physically between 2 kids, but I am going to try to work on this. The Romance Project took 7 months. I'm hoping that this does not take 7 months, but we shall see. So let's get into the vlog. Okay, so it's been like 10 days since I filmed my introduction, but I'm just now getting to the first audiobook, and that is The Jewel by Amy Ewing, I think. Put it here. This was requested that I read this by Elise. I will put her channel down below, but usually she does this when she likes a book and she wants someone else to talk about it with. So I'm gonna do that. I'm starting it tonight, and hopefully I can listen to it 2.5 times speed, but like I said in my introduction, I'm not smart enough for fantasy, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm 50% into The Jewel, and I had no idea what it was about. But it is basically a young adult Handmaid's Tale with these girls who have like magical powers. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm a little bored, if I'm being honest. It's just fine. Because I guess it is so much like The Handmaid's Tale, so like I've read it, but the magical element is starting to pick up more now, which is not something I am usually interested in when I'm reading. So we'll see. I'm 50% in. I don't know. Okay, so I just finished The Jewel by Amy Ewing, and I think I liked it more than my last update where I was like 50% in and it was just okay. It ended on quite a cliffhanger, so I know there's 2 more in the series. I probably will one day end up picking up the second one and go from there, but I am going to give The Jewel 3 stars, so I'm excited to get this video out so I can talk about it with Elise. So yeah, so pretty good start to this fantasy project. We'll see how it goes from here. Okay, so I'm starting Seafire by Natalie C. Parker. I honestly literally cannot remember what this is about. So once I get into it, I will let you know so we can recall. Female pirates, perhaps? I don't know. But I'm starting this audiobook now, so let's see how this goes. Okay, so I'm 50% into Seafire. And this is the one about lady pirates, so got that one right. I liked it a lot at first. There was a lot of action, a lot of stuff going on, and now that I'm right in the middle of it, it's starting to slow down, so I can like feel my attention drifting when I'm listening to the audiobook, which is not ideal. But basically the premise of this is that when, oh God, what's her name? When Caledonia's family is murdered in front of her. She makes her own crew of just women, and she has just found out information that her brothers may still be alive. So now they are on a mission to go rescue her brothers from like their rival pirates. I should hopefully finish this tomorrow. So as of right now, I don't know, I liked it so much at first, and now I just feel like there's just unnecessary garbage in the middle. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know. Okay, so last night I listened to more. I got 64% in when I decided to DNF Seafire. So it's just so boring. I don't know. It's supposed to be like action-packed woman pirates, and it's so boring. And I looked at other Goodreads reviews, like 2 and 1-star reviews of this book, and everybody's just like, why is it so boring? So at least I know I'm not alone, but like, I'm not going to finish a book that I'm probably going to end up only giving 2 stars, you know what I mean? Even if I only had like 30% left, it's just like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So Seafire, the first casualty of the fantasy project. This is a DNF. Okay, so I started The Library of the Unwritten by AJ Hackwith, and I'm 13% in, and I am not gonna lie to you, the first 10%, I had no idea what was going on. I still kind of don't really know what's going on, but I'm getting the gist of it more. I think my issue was that this author just kind of drops you in the story, and there's no like world building, even though they're like working in a library in hell. So took me a bit to figure that one out, but basically what I know so far is that like the characters in unwritten books come to life, and that's about all I know. So if I continue staying lost, I really don't know, but I feel like I am like slowly figuring out what the fuck this is about. I don't know. Like I said in my introduction video, I just don't think I'm smart enough for fantasy. So like, and also this one just had like no world building. It was just like, here's a librarian, we're in hell, here's a character that's come to life. This is definitely not my normal read. However, I got this because Chelsea from Chelsea Delling Reads, who also doesn't read fantasy, gave this like 4 or 5 stars. So I was like, if she liked it, I'm gonna like it, which obviously is not always the case. So now I'm very nervous about this, and I definitely don't think it's the read for me. So Okay, so I made it a whopping 27% into The Library of the Unwritten by AJ Hackwith, and I'm DNFing it. I feel like a failure. I feel like someone should put me on a book buying ban. I feel like, why am I doing this project? Am I gonna DNF every single book? Oh my god. So that's 2 out of 3 books I have DNF'd. So, oh my god, this is not good. But the good news is, I can sell these books. Oh god. Okay, so the reason I DNF'd this is because I turned it back on this morning and had no idea what was happening, and more importantly, did not care what was happening. So yeah, never buying fantasy ever again, she says. Okay. So next up is A Song of Wraiths and Ruins by Roseanne A. Brown. Elise did not like this, and usually we don't agree on things, so maybe I will like this. However, now that I'm 3 books in and I DNF 2, I honestly just don't think I'm going to really like any of these. So the good news is this is like the romance project where I can get these books off my shelves and focus on books I actually will like stick to my lane. Michelle, you like Jenny Han and Morgan Matson, like that's it, that's fine. And stop buying books that you're not really gonna like and you're buying because of the hype. So let's do this. Let's find out if I like this. Okay, so I am 13% into A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, and so far I'm liking it much better than my last read. So this is good news. I reread the synopsis. Basically, it's told in 2 points of views, which is great. I actually love that, and there's 2 narrators, which is even better. But the two main characters are like plotted to like kill each other, and they don't like really know that the other is planning to kill the other one. And I believe it's enemies to lovers. So that's pretty exciting. She's pretty big. It's like a 14-hour audiobook, and I am 13% in. So it's gonna take a while. And Rowan did nap today, so like, you know, it is what it is. But I am liking it a lot more than the other read, so that's good. I am still kind of concerned about the trigger warnings for this one. I haven't gotten anywhere near what these trigger warnings are. The main boy, hold on, Malik seems to have anxiety, so I'm wondering if it will be like part of his plot point with some of the trigger warnings that the author talked about in the beginning of this book. So we shall see. I don't know, but I'm liking it so far. Okay, I'm 50% into A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, and I am liking it. Cannot believe it. My issue with fantasy mostly is that like I just get lost in the story or the world building or whatever, and for the most part this hasn't happened to me with this story, so that's good. I'm not sure if I'm what's this? Hold on. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure if I'm not supposed to like Karina or not. She's the other main character, but I don't like Karina, so I don't know if like if she's an unlikable main character or not, but I don't like her, so yeah. Stay tuned. Hopefully I'll finish it today. I don't know. Okay, I finished A Song of Wraith and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown, and I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I really like the ending. I really like the beginning. I felt like the middle dragged a little bit. It's quite large. I feel like it could have been like 50 to 100 pages less, but that's just me, a non-fantasy reader. Otherwise, I thought it was great. I think that the second one is, I think it's a duology, and I think the second one's coming out in September, and I will probably read it. So, not failing this project entirely. Okay. Welp, I made it a whopping 13% into the City of Brass before I decided that I don't care, and I'm DNFing this, and I also don't care about that. I'm gonna stop feeling guilty for DNFing books, because the whole purpose of this video and project is to see if I like fantasy books, and so far the answer is no. So at least I'm learning. This thing is huge. It's a 20-hour audiobook. A couple things about the audiobook. I don't like the narrator. She sounds 6 years old. I have no idea what's happening. I was into it for a while, and then something like they changed perspectives, I think, but she used the same voice, and I was like, wait, I'm on a whole different person, and didn't even like realize it because she just used her 6-year-old voice to voice this other character, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So don't care, DNF. Okay. Next is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I believe this to be a DNF. I'm calling it now. I think I'm gonna DNF this pretty soon because I don't think I'm going to understand anything about this at all. And the thing is, I don't even want to not try it because like Song of Wraiths and Ruin really surprised me, and The Jewel really surprised me. So I at least want to pick it up and try it, but like I said, I'm not going to feel bad about DNFing it because I'm gonna pass these books along, and I'm gonna know for sure that fantasy is not my thing, and I'm gonna stop buying them, and I'm just gonna get them out from the library. So once again, you live and you learn. Starting The Starless Sea, I'm gonna probably DNF it, so see you soon. Okay, so I'm 18% into The Starless Sea, and I'm a little lost. Not like majorly lost, I'm just starting to get lost. So this grad student finds like a kind of unmarked book in his college library, and he starts reading it, and it's like the story of his life, even though it's like a very old book. And now this is where I'm getting lost. Something about a secret society, and then this is where I am. I don't hate it. If I like get any more lost than I am now, I would be concerned, but I'm gonna stick with it for now. So I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so I'm 32% into the Starless Sea, and I'm still chugging along. I am a little confused about what's going on. However, I love the writing, which I didn't think I was going to. I will say it's such a long audiobook. It's like 18 hours, so it feels long, like we're slogging through, and I'm not even like halfway through. And the fact that like I'm not 100% sure about what's going on, but I'm still trying. I just love the writing. So I don't know, we'll see. In my defense, I did say I was probably going to DNF this, and I did. But I got a lot further than I thought I ever was going to get. I made it 67% into this book when I decided to DNF it, because I picked it up this morning and truly did not give a fuck. It is so tedious. It's so tedious and hard to follow, especially if you do put it down. Like, I have other things to do. I have to put this down and start it over, you know, so I realized when I picked it up this morning that I had no fucking clue what was happening. So that's not good. I love the writing of this. I just think it's ridiculously tedious. Like, almost nothing is happening 67% into this ginormous book. So although I was really liking it in the beginning, I just can't do it anymore. Absolutely cannot. And that's fine. So another DNF. Okay, so last night I started World War Z by Max Brooks. I watched the movie several years ago and have only seen it one time, so I don't recall a lot about it. I'm listening to the audiobook, of course, and it's a full cast, which is awesome, but I'm 5% in, so not far at all. But it's this like scientist who is getting like personal first-hand stories about how this like started with the zombies, and also zombies creep me out. So yeah, I decided to do this book for the fantasy project because it's dystopian, but it's like the only adult dystopian that I have, so I might as well just throw it in there and let's do it. And also I've had it for like several years, so if not now, then when? So it's doing it. So can't tell you much about the audiobook because I'm only 5% in. However, I suggest not listening to dystopian during a pandemic. This is the second dystopian I've listened to during the pandemic, and it is not a good time. It's not a good time, especially this one like started out as like a virus. So we'll see how this goes. So I just read this part, and I think the quote was, a vaccine, people will take that if they know that it's still out there. And I just want to say how ironic that is because of the times we are in and the people who are not taking the vaccine. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, so I got 40% into World War Z and just don't care. I honestly think that each story is kind of too short, and so like I finally feel like I have the attention of the story, and then it ends. And I'm like, okay, so it's not effective for me. Also, like, it feels like I know that it's written by the one author, but it feels like an anthology because of all the different stories, and it's just not working for me. So I have decided to DNF World War Z. And although I am DNFing most of these books, I feel like this project is going well because now I won't waste my time on these books anymore. So on to the next one. Okay, so I am 8% into The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, jeez. And I'm already hating it for reasons. One, I don't know what's going on. I have no fucking clue. I'm gonna DNF this. Two, it's narrated by Jim Dale. Jim Dale does Harry Potter. So there's like a main younger girl and he's doing the Hermione voice. And then there's this older dude and he's doing the Dumbledore voice. And I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to? So, although I love Jim Dale, I can't hear anything other than Harry Potter. So, do I just give up on it now because I don't give a fuck about this and I didn't like the Starless Sea and I DNF that? No. I'm gonna try it again today and see if I can figure out what is happening. And if I get too confused, then it's just gonna be a lost cause because I'm not gonna physically read this. And yeah, so like I said yesterday, although this is not going well, it also kind of is going well because now I know for certain that fantasy is not for me. How many books have I finished? Like 2 out of the 7 or 8 books. So I'm gonna keep doing it though. Okay, so I absolutely have to stop this audiobook because of Jim Dale. So it's just Hermione and Dumbledore. It's not working. So I don't, despite what I just said, don't want to give up on this so soon. I only got 10% into the audiobook, so I do want to give it a chance. So I'm going to attempt to read it physically, which may take a while. So I'm going to focus on the audiobooks that I have and do that. I've also decided that I need a little break from all this fantasy, so I'm going to focus on like 2 or 3 other audiobooks that I have out that don't involve this project, just like so I don't get into a reading slump. We do not want that. We don't want that. So I'm going to read this physically and see how it goes. But like, I didn't like the Starless Sea, so am I gonna like this? I think so, but I want to give it a fighting chance. So that's where we are. Okay, so I tried to listen to Jade City twice and made it a whopping 5%. And I'm done. I don't care. I'm not gonna do it. I don't care. I don't care. And I don't care. And so I'm not gonna do it. So that's what I have to say about Jade City. It's not going well. So I currently just started the audiobook of The Brilliant Death by Amy Rose Capetta. I think I have read something else by this author, which is why I got this, but I can't for the life of me remember what that was. So we're gonna try this. I have quite a few more books to go and it's just not going well. So, you know, but don't be me. So I just want to say that I was wrong, and the author of The Brilliant Death now goes by A.R. Capetta, and I just want to apologize to the author for saying the wrong name like twice now, so I'm very sorry about that. It's A.R. Capetta, and I have read The Lost Coast by them for book club and did not like it. So I could not remember what this was about, but I went on Goodreads and it's about mafia family and magic and I think a queer relationship, so we shall see. But I just wanted to hop on here and say sorry for the wrong pronouns and I believe in the wrong name. Hello. I listened to 34% of The Brilliant Death last night, and I'm just gonna DNF it because I don't care. This is stupid. This is a stupid vlog. So if you're still here, thank you. I have several more books to go, and I am still hopeful that I will like one of them. So, you know, stay tuned for that. The next one is a book that we are actually reading for book club, and that's Test of the Road by Rachel Hartman. So I am actually going to try to finish this one so I can have a discussion with book club, but I don't always finish the books for book club. So like if I don't like it, which I probably won't, I might DNF it. So, you know, The intentions are good, always, but is it reality? Probably not, so we'll see. Okay, so I'm 18% into Test of the Road, and I'm liking it so far. I really like the writing. It's a little slow, like, it's slow. So she's just now on the road. And something has happened to her, but you're like getting clues about what's happened to her, but she hasn't like said exactly what has. So I like that kind of like mystery aspect of it. It feels like an adult fantasy. This is young adult, but the context of it does not feel like young adult. So that's interesting so far. But yeah, I'm liking it. I really like the writing style. I like the story. It's just a little slow. That's it. But I'm gonna continue on with it. Okay, so I'm 63% into Test of the Road, and it's starting to lose me. It's like the Starless Sea, like things started not making any sense anymore, and I just don't care. I'm done listening for now. I do listen a little bit at night while I'm putting Theo to bed, so I still have that, but like I swear this was so good, and now it's so not good. So I don't know. I haven't decided. Also, I have decided that I'm not going to read The Night Circus, so that's done. So fuck, I don't know what to do. Oh. So I made it 76% into Test of the Road before DNFing. It's I liked it a lot in the beginning. It kind of reminds me of my reading experience with the Starless Sea. Like I really liked it, and now this middle part is so dragging, and just why? So I don't feel like I need to finish it. I felt like even if I got into the end, it would have been 3 stars, which is good, but like that's another 4 hours of listening to an audiobook I don't like. So DNF Test of the Road. Sorry, Tatiana. Okay, so I got exactly 4% into middle game and said absolutely not. So, no. But I already talked to my friend Alex, and I'm gonna give this book to her. She bought it for me, so I'm gonna return it to its rightful owner. I think she'll like this, and I do not. I have a couple books left. Obviously, this project is not going well, and I should never read any fantasy again. I have 6 books left. I have 1, 2, I think I have 3 or 4 out on audiobook, so I might as well start them and see how it goes, but I'm ready to quit. I'm ready to quit and never buy a single fantasy book ever again, and that's okay. So stay tuned for that, but I might quit. Yeah, I might quit this. Okay, so about 20 minutes ago, I filmed a clip where I was like, am I quitting? And that's how I knew it was time to quit. And also because I started the audiobook of Not Even Bones by Rebecca Schaefer and didn't care. And I want to care about what I'm reading. So I have once again decided to end this project. I ended the romance project. I'm ending the fantasy project. And that's okay. So quickly I'm going to go over the books that I did not get to, and then the books that I ended up just DNFing, and I read 2, I think. Okay, so I did not really get to Not Even Bones, and I'm going to unhaul it. I did not get to Graceling. I don't think this was in my original video, but I found this on my shelves and I got the audiobook, and I'm not gonna read it. I just bought this and it was a mistake. So, and that's Where Dreams Descend. I'm not gonna read this. I got The Poppy War. I'm not gonna read this. I'm still on hold for it for the audiobook. It's like 19 weeks. Is it worth it for me? No. The 5th season. And last is The City of Ember. These are all unread, and I'm not going to read these. And then moving on to the ones that I attempted to read and ultimately DNF'd. The City of Brass, DNF. The Starless Sea, DNF. I did read this. I think I gave it 3 stars. A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. I think the sequel comes out in a couple of months, and I will probably listen to it. The Library of the Unwritten, DNF. Seafire DNF, Middle Game DNF, Night Circus didn't really even attempt it, DNF. Test of the Road was really promising, ultimately DNF. The Brilliant Death DNF. Jade City DNF. And finally World War Z DNF. So this project was actually worse than the romance project. So like at least with the romance project, I gave many of those books 2 or 3 stars. These ones I didn't even get to. So I think we all know fantasy is not for me, so I will no longer be purchasing fantasy. These books alone are just like $200, so could have saved myself $200 and bought contemporary YA. So thanks for watching my video. See you in my next one. Bye!